Not all missed opportunities of the lost decades of the last century can be recovered. But there is considerable scope, believe me, to play catch-up, especially in selected domains. At the same time, attention is being paid to advanced technologies, to advanced manufacturing, so that India does not perpetually lag behind. We are now in the world of chips and semiconductors, electric vehicles and batteries, drones and space, or that of nanotech and bioscience. Each of them offers opportunity to leapfrog and establish unique capabilities, which is why they feature today so strongly in the government's policy support. Where foreign affairs is concerned, technology and trade are among the metrics of our 3 T's performance evaluation, along with tourism. It is a measure of seriousness that our diplomats are so focused on constantly exploring opportunities and solving problems in these domains. For all of this to happen, it has also been imperative to rectify the shortcomings in our infrastructure. In fact, that was the crucial differentiator in many ways with respect to the more successful Asian economies. But in the last few years, that gap is narrowing. In fact, it is narrowing before our very eyes. Whether it is highways or railways, aviations or ports, energy or power, we are now moving ahead by any standards. And I can tell you by personal experience that the world is indeed taking note. Now let's turn our attention to some key elements of this transformation, which actually make for a less rule-bound and a more fragmented world. The United States, long the underwriter of the contemporary system, has set radically new terms of engagement. Not just that, it is doing so by dealing with countries on a one-on-one basis rather than through regimes. China has long played by its own rules and is now doing so even more. In the ensuing scenario, other nations are unclear on whether their attention should be on the visible competition or the trade-offs and understandings that punctuate them. Faced with such pulls and pressures of globalization, of fragmentation, and of supply insecurity, the rest of the world responds by hedging against all contingencies. Even as it engages the United States and China directly, choices are avoided where feasible, and choices are made when beneficial. Simultaneously, other options between themselves are explored with greater urgency. One sign of that is the uptick in the enthusiasm today for free trade agreements across geographies. Now, while all of this is happening, the global picture is by no means static. Europe and Asia are reassessing their respective strategic predicaments. The very landscape in the Middle East has undergone a transformation. The importance of partnering Africa's growth is more widely recognized. And as distances become less relevant, new opportunities are visualized in Latin America. Now, please also bear in mind that the relative weight of nations in different domains is also undergoing a major change. Whether it is manufacturing, energy, trade, finance, technology, natural resources, connectivity, or mobility, the world is not what it was, say, just a decade ago. A third of global production currently takes place in China. This has put the spotlight on the resilience and reliability of supply chains. Conflicts and climate events have added to the possibility of their disruption. When it comes to energy, the US has gone from being a major importer to a significant exporter of fossil fuels. At the same time, China dominates the world of renewables. Where trade is concerned, supply-side risks are aggravated by demand-side uncertainty. The salience of tariff rates to trade prospects has obviously heightened volatility. And as for finance, the prolific application of sanctions, the seizure of assets, and the advent of blockchain-based technologies are today part of the new realities. And what can we say about technology when the mother of all changes, artificial intelligence moving towards artificial general intelligence, is at our very doorstep? Understandably, it has a direct impact on the competition for natural resources, especially rare earths and critical minerals. Now, even as these developments unfold, we are revisiting history by reinventing connectivity. The hardwiring, designed by the vested interests of imperialism, needed to change as new centers of production and consumption came up. While some of it was organic and some of it was market-driven, others appear to also have a strategic intent. Indeed, the very concept of dual-purpose connectivity challenges the orthodox assumptions and definitions that many of us hold. Another dimension worth recognizing is the importance of the mobility of talent. The flow may be driven by demands of technology, but they are actually made possible by a globalized economy. Over a period, it was not just the talent that is moving, so too is the tasking. And we see that in the rise now of global capability centers. Demographic is also at work, not only technology and economics. In many societies, the maintenance of basic social services requires skills from abroad, as do their economic production. The cumulative result is the need today to prepare for a global workforce. So this is the global landscape, and you may ask, how does India respond to these new realities? Well, obviously, by pursuing policies and taking actions that, one, advance our comprehensive national power, two, reduce our vulnerabilities, and three, promote our influence. Now, the last two clearly constitute the core of our diplomatic activities, but even when it comes to increasing comprehensive national power, our role in diplomacy is active rather than passive. This is done, amongst others, by facilitating the flow of technology and the ease of manufacturing, by shaping external sentiment about investing in India, by opening markets for our producers and work opportunities for our skills, and by ensuring the steady and predictable supply of our requirements from the world. As India rises and our economy grows, we are preparing, obviously, to shoulder more responsibilities in this regard. A major power, that too one with higher aspirations like us, must have a significant industrial base. Unfortunately, this was not an assumption necessarily accepted by policymakers before 2014. Promoting industrial growth and even incentivizing it is today a key economic priority. The emphasis on Make in India in the last decade speaks of a different mindset and greater ambition.